Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, season 2, episode number 1. As I have promised, this time we are going to meet some exciting peoples. And as far as my first episode, we have a wonderful guest today who's connecting us from Dubai. And he's such an amazing human being who's running a company called Secure My Scholarship, which is giving some amazing scholarship for students all around the globe. You should check the website, which I have given in the description. And I'm very happy to welcome Craig Fernandez to the episode 1 of our season 2. Let's invite it. So, hi, Craig. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Saran. Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
So, thanks for accepting my invite to be here and to discuss on so many things. And I'm really excited for this podcast, to be sure. And how's everything there?
Everything here is great, man. Things are going good. It's the winter here in Dubai, so it's a little cool, which is great because Dubai in the summer is very, very hot. So things are going good. Weather is good. Things are going good. Christmas time, New Year's time, all is a fun time. But yeah, man, no, thank you so much for having me. I know we've been discussing getting on a podcast and like doing this for a while now, so I'm glad we could finally make it happen. Super, super excited from my end to be here.
Sure, sure. It's my pleasure because while I was looking your profile, yes, and LinkedIn and so many, even your website, yes, I was really wondering, this is one of the most important topic to be discussed at this kind of time. Because coming from a place like India, going to a university or getting a foreign opportunity is one of the most toughest thing when it comes to Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And people like you who's helping students to get this kind of education, that too with the scholarship, is just how to say it, a very important thing to be shared and to be known for everyone. So that is why I was very curious, so that even though we had some mishaps on timings, we still able to do this here.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even imagine, man. Like, when we set up securemyscholarship.com, we actually had no idea how big it would become. It's been about 3 years since we launched, and now, but as of the end of 2024, on a monthly basis, there are about 30,000 people every month from the UAE, from the GCC, from India, from Africa, from East Asia, from wherever, who come to our platform every single month looking for support, looking for scholarships, looking for help. And 30,000 students is a lot of students. I think the reason why we built Secure My Scholarship is because the cost of higher education, especially quality higher education, is very, very high. It's extraordinarily high. And what happens is that, the amount of fees prices out so many people from middle class and working class families who just can't afford it. I mean, they want to go, they want to study, they want to pursue it, but they just can't go. I mean, that bridge has a price tag, and that price tag is too high. Which is why we do what we do. And the impact that we've had so far, we've been around, as I said earlier, for about 3 years. In those 3 years, we'd helped students connect with over $9.9 million in scholarships to date. And we are very, very proud of that. I mean, that's thousands and thousands of people whose lives we have impacted with the work that we have done. And we are very, very proud of that.
That's really amazing. 30, I can see how many countries the students are coming and visiting your website. Even I visited your website, which I find it very unique is there's no hidden things. Every universities, there is something you said it very clearly that what is available and what kind of scholarship is that, and it's going to be the stay or it is going to be the entire fees or something. That openness is very, very important, right? And I also saw one thing like how many percentage of students getting scammed by these consultancies, and which is a very alarming rate nowadays, right? And how you see, how you started this idea of securing the scholarship to this kind of students? That was the idea came from.
Yeah, I mean, I think the inspiration for Secure My Scholarship actually just came from our own personal backgrounds. I guess I grew up in Dubai. I was born in Dubai, raised in Dubai, grew up in Dubai. But when people think about Dubai, they usually think about the Burj Khalifa or the Palm Jumeirah,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
But that actually was not my Dubai. Like, I actually didn't grow up in that part of Dubai. I grew up on the outskirts of Dubai in a small, tiny apartment, which cost about 6,000 dirhams a year in rent. That's about 120,000 rupees a year, which is kind of low in India. If you go to Mumbai or Delhi, it's very low in Mumbai or Delhi. So you can only imagine how low that is here in the UAE. Uh, and that's kind of, where I come from, where I grew up. We lived there as well, for most of my early life until I was like 14 or 15 years old. So when I was in high school and when I wanted to go to university, my dream was to go to the US. And when I spoke to my parents and I told them, listen, I want to go to the US, they told me, it's too expensive. They said, we can't afford it. It's too expensive. Pick something else. But that was my dream, and I didn't want to give up on that dream. So I said, let's see what happens. Let me try to work on it. Let's see what happens. And then throughout high school, I actually just worked very, very hard. I graduated top of my class. I was on the cricket team, football team, swimming team, did a bunch of extracurriculars, whatever. Added my college application. I applied to a bunch of universities all over the US. I got into most of them. Still didn't matter because I couldn't afford it. But whatever, I applied to a bunch of universities, got into most of them, all of that stuff. Until finally, actually, a university got back to me and they said, hey, Craig, you have a great profile. You seem like a great student. We'd love for you to come and study with us. And we're willing to give you a 55% scholarship to come and study here. And between that scholarship and, some savings and a small loan and whatever, yada, yada, it actually became possible for me to go to the US to study, which is what I wanted. I mean, that was my dream to pursue. So without that scholarship, it would not have been possible. Now, maybe I got lucky in terms of getting that. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe the stars aligned for myself. But there are tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of other students who don't have
The access to those kind of things. Yeah.
they don't have that opportunity. I was fortunate enough to get that. There are so many other students who don't have that opportunity, and that, I guess, is why we did what we did. And that's just not myself. For many of the other senior team members, and for most of our team, actually, they all come from similar backgrounds, from middle class, so lower middle class, or working class backgrounds, where they all face similar circumstances when they were going to university themselves. So for all of us, when we were setting up Secure My Scholarship, the the inspiration for Secure My Scholarship and really the idea or the need, the understanding of the need for such a solution really just came from our own personal backgrounds and the hurdles that we ourselves had to cross when we were going to university.
I can really get it because you already experienced the pain and the need of a scholarship. So you went on creating such thing is really amazing. Even for me also, my college has been funded by one of my relatives. Okay, because of that only I am in this position. If there was no such kind of funding, I would have ended up in a very different position. So I'm still thankful for that kind of content.
There's so many students and parents who we interact with who share similar, who share similar anecdotes. It's because of my relatives. My relatives really helped out, or we had to take a loan, or things like that. Like, so many people who share similar stories, similar anecdotes for how they are able to go to college. And I mean, at the end of the day, there has to be a simpler way, right? Like, there needs to be a simpler way. You shouldn't have to empty out your bank account to go to university. You shouldn't have to take a loan with a
Or high end in the homes and the entire life savings would have been drained for this.
Yeah, or put your home as your collateral or whatever to go to university. I mean, what the hell is going on, right? That to me, when I hear such stories, is evidence of a broken system, a system that I think can be improved and needs to be improved, and that's what we're working towards.
That's really great. And that kind of culture or that kind of impact which you're creating to the society is really important because most of the students have been misguided and the parents are hopeless and losing the dreams for in sake of money is one of the hardest thing which we can get off. So I really appreciate for you to doing that. And I'm really curious while I was reading your profile, you was 30 under 30 Forbes list on 2023, right? And how it happened and because Forbes is one of the most for any entrepreneur or any business people, such a benchmark, right? And how you were there and how you felt when you know that you are in the list. Can you share some insight on that?
I mean, how did I get on the list? I think, no, I actually don't really care that much for awards and accolades and that type of stuff. I think that if you wake up every day and you give your 100% and you work hard, I think success and accomplishments just naturally follow. And I think the Forbes 30 under 30 award was really just a byproduct of all of the hard work that not only myself but I think everybody put in. Of course, it's my name on the award, but really I would not have gotten that if not for the amazing the amazing team that we have and all of the hard work that they did. They make me look good, truth be told. But yeah, I think that's just a reflection of all of our hard work and efforts over the last couple of years. How did I feel when I got it? I actually received an invite early in 2023 to submit the application. I submitted the application, then I had to get on a call with someone. They needed some information. Then there was a second call. Then there was some more like questions that they raised. There was a bit of a process, but that all happened earlier in the year. I think by May or June 2023, that entire process was concluded. And then I didn't really hear anything from them for like a bunch of months. Like I think by May or June, the process was over. And for the next 5 months or 6 months, I didn't really hear anything. And fast forward to November. So what from May to November, that's 6 months. Hadn't heard anything from them, no information, no emails, no updates, no nothing. So I kind of forgot about it. And in November, I was actually at home working. And suddenly, randomly, in the evening while I'm working, my fiance comes into my room and she's just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I didn't really know what was going on. So I was like, I'm on a call, like stop, like I'm on a call. And she's just like, oh my God, oh my God.
This is important. This is important. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So then I kind of like said like, wait, listen, like let me finish the call. So I got done with the call, and then I go outside, and then I was just like, what happened? And she's like, oh, the list came out. You're on the list. Oh my God, like you're on the list.
This should be a very kind of energetic thing to hear, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think she was happier than me. I think she would be told, but I think she was happier than me. But I'm not gonna lie, it felt good. I think it is. I think just tracking back to what I mentioned earlier, I think it's kind of like validation for the hard work and the effort that we put in every day, every week, every month, every year. The hard work and the effort that we put in, and I think that's kind of validation for all of that stuff. So, I'm not gonna lie, it felt good. But as I said, awards and accolades, I think they're merely a byproduct of the inputs that you put in. I'm not really one to go out there and chase awards and accomplishments. I think if they come, they come. That's great. If they don't, so be it. There's always tomorrow.
I really agree with you because once you are doing a hard work daily and your work is creating an impact, surely the awards and recognitions will always flow into your life. Yes. And so as an entrepreneur, you are into business and like every entrepreneur, businessman, some days they'll be having high tides and some days a low tide. Yes. How you get yourself up, or when you are in a very bad mood or something is not going in your way? There should be some kind of what do you do to reback your energy or mood? Just I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, man, honestly, as an entrepreneur, as a startup founder, and this is really just for any startup founder out there. The entrepreneurial journey has incredible highs, amazing highs, great moments of success, very, very, very big highs, but also has incredible lows and just days or weeks, sometimes even months where, things are just not going your way and it's just a terrible run of luck. I think like terrible run of luck, just very, very, very low lows, that you have to just encounter and take forward. I think, you know, for how I personally get through this, there is there's a movie. It's called Rocky Balboa. I love the Rocky franchise. I personally really like the Rocky franchise. And in one of the movies, in Rocky Balboa, there's this scene where Rocky, he's talking to his son, and his son is going through just a bad time in his life. And Rocky looks at his son and he says, uh, he says, I'm going to tell you something that you already probably know, right? The world isn't full of rainbows and puppies and unicorns. It is a mean and nasty place that is designed to knock you down time and time again. But you know what, man? It's not how many times you get knocked down that matters. It's how many times you can get knocked down and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. And that's something that I always think to, something that I always reflect on. It's not how many times you get knocked down that matters. I mean, I've had more lows than many people have. I've had more lows in the last 3 years than many people have in maybe 10 years or 15 years. Just very, very low points, very terrible news, difficult situations, whatever that we have to deal with. But it's not how many times you get knocked down that matters. It's how many times you can get knocked down and keep moving forward, figure out a way, right? There's always tomorrow. I think a lot of that strength and fortitude comes from just a sure belief in our team, in our mission, in what we are building, and just always remembering why we do what we do. Have faith in, why you're building what you're building, the necessity or the need for the solution, for the product, for the company that you are building, and keep that with you always. That is your strength. That is your pillar. That is your rock to fall back upon. No matter what happens, just remember that and keep moving forward.
That is one real key takeaway, because as an entrepreneurs, we all feel very tired and overwhelming at some times. And we can surely take that put into our life. And I was really happy to see that Secure My Scholarship was recently valued to 6 million. Yes, and you have also got funding around 1.2 million. As funding, when it comes to funding, it's a very crucial process, and it's not very easy to crack a funding process out there. And how you got that into that kind of 6 million valuation and to crack that funding of 1.2 million? Because as an entrepreneurs in business, the source of funding is very, very important, which runs the entire system. And you can share some insight of how you done that and how to crack those kind of fundings, maybe in entrepreneurial view or in the founder's view.
Yeah, I think, in terms of raising funding, it's the same thing as with awards or accolades, right? Raising funding is really just a byproduct of the hard work that you put in. And if you put in the effort and you put in the hard work, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, no excuses, you you will be able to raise. It will just take time. Some people are able to raise very quickly. For some people, it takes longer than others. But as long as you are building something that is fundamentally, good, fundamentally strong, you're managing your cash well, you're solving an actual problem, and you're building for the future, there's always funding available. I think we live in a great age where there are people with wealth, with capital, who are willing to back new and innovative ideas. Um, as long as you're building something worthwhile, we'll always be able to find such people. Now, for us, when we were launching out, I mean, we launched Secure My Scholarship as well as our previous startup before that out of our apartment, right? We were bootstrapped. We launched out of our apartment. We built it from my bedroom, literally in like a suburb of Dubai. Um, and we didn't really have access to any capital or any funding or any of that stuff when we were launching. So for us, when especially in those initial early days, initial early weeks, initial first year, uh, we had to, I guess, bring about a degree of financial discipline, which was very, very important. Just making sure the numbers made sense, making sure we were tracking cash flow, making sure we understood how we were at any given point in time, what was the financial health of the company, all of that stuff. Just being very, very financially disciplined from a very early point in the organization. And I think that discipline really helped carry us. And fast forward, maybe a year or a year and a half later, when we were speaking with our first investors, this discipline that we had really helped us, I think, really endeared us to investors, along with, okay, fine, the traction that we were seeing, revenue growth, the bottom line, our expansion plans, all of that stuff. I think it all kind of like came together to paint a picture that made Secure My Scholarship as a venture attractive to investors, allowing us to then go on to raise $1.2 million in capital, as you mentioned, $6 million valuation. And we're just getting started. I think we should be on course to raise a full Series A in 2025. Raise hopefully somewhere between $3 to $5 million in capital, maybe at a $20 to $30 million valuation, fingers crossed, and really scale our operations. And with that, touch the lives of tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of students in India and around the world.
That's really amazing because in a day one, it may be looking like a plain canvas, but as days goes, as you said, with the discipline, with the team effort and the hard work which you put in, at one day it will be looking like a very colorful image. Then that is very important. Yeah.
Exactly, right? I mean, like you got to start from somewhere. Right? You got to start from somewhere. And on day one, it is very, very difficult to just magically have a venture that can raise capital, yada yada, all of that stuff. On day one, you got to start from somewhere, and then as you go along, you add more brushes of paint to that canvas, and you begin filling out a full picture. And over time, as that picture begins filling in, you begin to make yourself more and more attractive to outside capital, to investors, and then you take it from there.
I'm really wondered about how your startup. You're based out of Dubai, as you born and brought up there, and how Dubai helped you building some system like this, and as you also got support from the education department of Dubai, right? Yes, which I learned from your profile. And can you share like how is business in Dubai? And because the entire world is moving to Dubai and UAEs and so many countries because of the taxes and so many benefits as entrepreneurs in business. Can you share some thoughts on how business is happening in Dubai?
Yeah, I think launching in Dubai, and of course, our headquarters is here in Dubai. We are a Dubai-based startup. Launching in Dubai held two big advantages for us. Number one, because I grew up here as well as the rest of the founding team all grew up here. Most of the founding team grew up here. We already had an inbuilt network here in Dubai. There are a lot of uncertainties or unknowns when you launch a startup. So a lot of unpredictable things when you launch a startup. So when you found something, you should try to control as much as you can. And it just helps if you know the city, if you know the environment, if you know people, if you know how to get things done. So that was kind of like an advantage that we had because we grew up here and because we're from the city. Uh, but I think outside of that, and just for any new entrepreneur or new founder, or maybe even people who aren't from Dubai, I think the aura of Dubai can be summarized in one word, which is simplicity. I think in Dubai, it is very, very easy to set up a company, to set up a new venture, to get started, to get your license in place, to open a new bank account. It's very, very easy. I truly think that entrepreneurs and founders should spend their time and spend their energy where it really matters, which is building their startup, thinking about product, thinking about sales, thinking about marketing, thinking about engineering, thinking about user experience. That's really what matters. They should not spend their time and energy thinking about how to open a bank account or how to get this KYC form or that form or this form. That's unnecessary. And in Dubai, it's very, very simple. And I think that's something that we owe a lot to the guys who set up the rules in this city. They eliminated a lot of bureaucracy. It's all online. It's very streamlined. A very, very good process. And that really helps. We've also received, as you very rightly mentioned, we've also received a lot of support from institutions in this city. We were recognized by the UAE's Ministry of Education as one of the fastest growing edtech startups here in the UAE. We represented the UAE as part of the UAE's delegation at the BET conference in London earlier this year in 2024. That was amazing. I personally met with the UAE's Minister of Education, as well as the UAE's ambassador to the UK. So we've received a lot of support and a lot of recognition from the UAE's Ministry of Education and the powers that be, and that's amazing as well.
That's good to know because those kind of support helps us to even more go to a further level, right? So that is the kind of system where we need to be there. Yeah, so it's
Yeah, I mean, of course, exactly right. It's all about awareness and exposure. As a new startup, I mean, it's just it's just the way it is, right? You're not gonna have the marketing capital. You're not gonna have a bazooka like some of the traditional entities that have been in the space, have been around for 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 years. You're not gonna have that. So you need all the help that you can get in terms of raising awareness and raising your public profile. So when you receive support like that, it really goes a long way in terms of, spreading awareness, not only to our target demographic, which is students and parents, but also to universities or to investors or to maybe some people in the media or whoever.
That's true. And coming to the main point for our viewers, imagine a student is longing to secure my scholarship now. He's into the website and where he wants to look on, and can you guide the process from the website, how he comes in and how he get the scholarship? What is the process involved in it and how can they get benefited out of it?
Yeah, the process on Secure My Scholarship is designed to be super, super easy. We have a sort of automated student counselor that's on the platform. You simply have to come to the website, enter in a bunch of information. I think there's like 3 or 4 questions that we ask you. And with those 3 or 4 questions, we give you a university shortlist. Here are some options that fit your criteria, that fit your requirements. You can take a look at that. You can see what scholarships are available. And then you can proceed to submit kind of like a minimal application form. Once you submit this minimal application form, somebody from our team will verify your information. They'll then reach out to you with more information, and then we'll take the process further from there. But in terms of, I want to study, I need help with scholarships, I don't know where to study. You come to our platform, you take 10 minutes, I think. You enter in a few points of information based on your criteria for what you want to do. We'll generate a short list for you. You take a look at the short list. Depending on what you like, you can pick whichever universities you like. Submit a small application, and then we take it from there. Then our team will reach out with more information. We have an amazing team that works day in, day out to support thousands of students. At any given point in time, there are about 4,000 to 5,000 students in conversation with our team at any given point in time. And our team will reach out, our team will help you out. They will give you any additional points of information that they require. We will then coordinate with the university. We'll submit your application onto the university, get you your offer letter, get you your scholarship. We'll back channel with the university, negotiate on your behalf with the university to try to maximize your scholarship as much as possible. Once you have your offer letter, once you have your scholarships, then the ball is in your court. You take a decision, however you want to proceed, and then we rock and roll from there.
Seems very a very simple task, because when you come to this foreign education, people find it very hard to fill the applications. They don't know where to look upon, where to put those kind of requests, and how to do and what to do. And this kind of streamlined system will help them to break those kind of hurdles, I think so. And that is the main reason of this podcast also.
Yeah. I mean, so the platform is designed by its very nature to be as simple as possible. We understand that studying abroad can be a very daunting experience, can be a very intimidating experience, scary in some regards. And the entire process is designed to be as simple and as easy as possible. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to interact with a lot of different parties. You don't have to do a lot of research or any of that stuff. If once you spend the 2 minutes to enter in like a few specific data points, which country you want to study in, what kind of budget do you have, all of that stuff. Like once you spend like a minute maybe to enter in those 3 data points, our platform will do all of the rest for you. Our team will do all of the rest for you. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to do anything. We will simplify and handle everything on our regard. We'll take care of the entire A to Z of the entire process, and we'll help you save $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 along the way. And that's what you do.
And if there is only one key takeaway which you want to leave it to the audience, yes, what will that be from your side?
I think the key takeaway that I want to mention to anybody listening to this podcast is, I personally have spoken to a lot of schools, a lot of universities, a lot of exhibitions. I've been at university fairs. I've spoken to thousands and thousands of students who've told me, Craig, honestly, like we would have loved to have studied abroad. We would love to go overseas to our MBA or our master's or our bachelor's or whatever, but it was just too expensive, and we couldn't afford that. The key takeaway that I want to share with anybody listening to this podcast is, it's never too late to pursue an education abroad if you want it. An education abroad can be a very, very fulfilling experience, not only in terms of the tangible, degree that you earn and the education that you get, but also in terms of the intangible, in terms of how much you grow as a person, how much you learn about yourself, about what you like, what you don't like, how you interact with others, how to make friends. There's a lot of tangible and intangible associated with that. It's never too late to do that. I understand that it is very, very extensive. The headline figures can be very high, but I promise you that there is a myriad of scholarships, fee waivers, bursaries, discounts, and options available, grants available that people just don't know about. And that's what we are here to do. We are here to help make that process a little bit more affordable, reduce your tuition fees by 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50% in some cases, to help you actually go and live those dreams. No loans, minimize your savings, and secure as much scholarships as you can to go and live your dreams. And there's always a chance. It's never too late to do that. That's the one takeaway that I want to leave with you on here.
That is really amazing, and thanks for sharing your valuable insights and how you came from there to here with all kind of things. This is really amazing to talk with you, and I hope the viewers also got so many insights about entrepreneurship, maybe the business, maybe the scholarships, and how they are going to do into a convert their dream into actionable points. Thanks for being here, Craig. On behalf of all our viewers, I really thank you for spending your time with us. It's really amazing to talk with you.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It was a pleasure speaking with you as well. Thank you so much to everyone who listened to this podcast. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you so much, Saran. Been a pleasure, man.
Thank you so much. I just